Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of PLA with myself, Nick and Bruno. And we've got 3 questions today. We'll be doing the first 2 one by one or individually with Nick, and then we'll do the third one then with Bruno. So the first one, Nick, deals basically with the agent asking whether they can advise tenants to hold back rent until electricity account is basically handled accordingly with the municipality. And it reads as follows, that a tenant took occupation in January 2024, which is this year, of a unit in a block of flats with a prepaid electrical meter still needing to be installed. The municipality has cut the electricity to the unit, and she is tomorrow now without a week without electricity. The landlord is to sort out the accounts still with them, which they are still currently busy with. Can we, as the agents, hold the rental back and suggest to the tenant that they then go ahead and place the landlord on terms? Nick?
So it's an interesting question, because one assumes that if there is an agent involved in this particular circumstance, the agent is acting on behalf of the landlord. So I'd be very careful if I was the agent who's writing it. But notwithstanding, I also want to be careful about suggesting that anyone holds back rental. Okay, mostly because we don't have the agreement that's actually entered into between the parties, and most lease agreements, good lease agreements that are in the industry, specifically exclude a party's ability to withhold performance of payments of rental. And so any suggestion of doing something like that may end you up in a situation where there's a breach of the contract and a problem. Okay. That being said, rental is a specific charge that is charged in terms of a lease agreement, and it's a specific thing in law. Okay. It is a remuneration that is given for the free use and enjoyment of a particular thing. Okay. And in the case of property rentals, electricity is part of the free use and enjoyment of that particular thing. Okay, so when there's no electricity and it's as a result of the landlord not actually settling the accounts in a particular circumstances, that right to freely use and enjoy a particular property may be infringed upon as a result of the landlord's failure in the circumstances. Okay, and that is a breach of the lease agreement. Okay, the primary thing you have to do as a landlord, your primary obligation, is to give that free use and enjoyment. And if you are preventing the tenant from using that property properly, you're in breach. Okay, so as to the question, would I suggest that you withhold payment of rental? No. That might might exacerbate the circumstances, or certainly will exacerbate the circumstances, but may create a breach on behalf of the party that it seems, given the facts that we've got in front of us, is not actually in breach at this point. I'm making the assumption that the tenant is fully paid up and they've paid their electricity charges, etc. And this is just a landlord problem not having settled with the municipality. You don't want to put the tenant into a position where they're also in breach of the contract. So no, I wouldn't suggest withholding the rental. Okay, that needs to be paid. Is there an ability for the tenant to say, look, I am entitled to remission in that rental because I haven't had free use and enjoyment of that property for a week? Yes, there's a perfectly good argument for that. And there's a very good argument that, as the writer said at the very end of the question, you can place the landlord on terms. Absolutely, that's also a possibility. But I'm afraid without the contract in front of me, I would say stay safe. Don't withhold rental if you don't absolutely know you've got a right to do so, which is written into that particular contract. That would be the only circumstances where I'd suggest something like that happens. But absolutely go ahead, place the landlord on terms in the circumstances. It seems that there is a breach if they've been failing to pay the municipality and the electricity's been turned off as a result.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, thank you very much, Nick. Nice and straightforward to that one.